Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and as you can see it's January the 1st, so I thought this is going to be more like a guide video and we're going to go through our transfer strategy, the wages, how much we're going to spend. However, before we do that, we're going to have a look at the fixtures and see how we've been getting on. Now, we left at the 1-1 draw against Chelsea. Since then, we had an annoying 3-2 loss in the quarter-final to Watford, and it was a game of just extraordinary goals with Salah 30 yards, Richardson 30 yards, and I think we probably did deserve. I think we got something crazy like 30 shots and 18 on target. It wasn't our game. Defence didn't really do what needed to be done, and that's all she wrote. Next we had Stoke away again, and we won 3-1, so sort of back on winning ways, which was nice. A lot of set pieces goals though. Then it was a really disappointing 1-0 loss to Huddersfield, and it was just frustrating, nothing was gelling. And then for the Southampton game we went back to our three playmakers in midfield and won 4-0. They were shocking. It's hard to be too pumped for this. They were shocking. We were just there at every ball, and it was enough said. We beat Liverpool reserves is basically what happened. Although I have forgot to mention before, we did get Monaco in the Champions League, so we got them in the first knockout game, and to be honest, I'm quite happy with that draw. I think it's our best, probably one of the best draws we could have got. So, yeah, fairly happy. We can see here the other draws. So we got a nice draws: Man United against Real Madrid, Bayern against City, Tottenham against Roma, Chelsea versus Barcelona, PSG, Porto is probably going to be easy for PSG. So we've got a lot of big teams playing big teams, which is quite nice for us. So I'm happy with that. So here we are, 21 games in. We're on 45 points and we're second in the league. 2 points behind Man United. We did let that lead slip, and Man City are behind us just on 1 point. So we can see the top three have now pulled away from the rest of the group. So I think unless something happens with us, it is going to be Man United, Liverpool, Man City, and then the rest of the league. Because apart from that, it's really close with Arsenal and Tottenham both on 36, and then Newcastle on 34. It's a tight table. Apart from then you've got Swansea and Brighton sort of making a gap for themselves, which is a bit disappointing for them. So, to be honest, I think we're doing well. I'm happy with how this season's going so far. Alright, here we are on the transfer screen. So I've spoken a little bit before about our transfer policy, but it's going to be along the sign of... I've talked a little bit about our transfer policy, and it's going to be not signing players above 24. If they're foreign, I may look at only 23. And the policy is pretty much find talented players at a reasonable price. Now, the logic behind that, although we have a ton of money, and I know we have like 100 million in the bank, we can't compete with the other big boys money-wise. But even Champions League, we need homegrown players. Brexit might kick in, which then again we're going to need, well, depending how Brexit goes, no one knows. So I'm hoping to invest and sell as a profit. I'm not saying we're always going to be a selling club, but I think that we're not going to be a selling club, but we're going to be a selling club. And it's just basically to get that huge profit margin. I'm not one of them managers that like running at a deficit. I like making sure the finances are to point. I like making sure I'm not going to destroy a club. I don't like it. I don't feel like I'm getting out of the game what I want out of the game. So I like having a clear transfer policy with any of my saves, because it's my way of having a bit of self-discipline. Otherwise, it's too easy to, for example, if Firmino goes for 40 million, not that I'm going to sell him for that cheap, it's too easy to then spend 80 million and just replace him. And to me, it removes the fun from the game, because if you can just buy anyone, then what's the point? You might as well have, in my opinion, so I like having a disciplined plan. And other things we look at within players is stuff like DNA, mentals. I like to a point, especially if I'm spending money on players. They need them key mentals. And what is a club DNA? So each club will have their own DNA. If you look at clubs like Burnley, for example, they have a high work rate. They're all in the same tight group. So we want to make sure there's a lot of same personalities within this team. This helps the squad gel, like I said, with Burnley. And it just makes you genuinely more successful. You see that with the bigger teams, like Barcelona. They're all around Messi's for barbecues and stuff like this. It just makes everything around the club a lot better. I don't normally follow this track, if I'm honest. This is the first time where I'm going to stick by it. When we look for players, we are going to be looking at, can we sell them down the line? Especially with luxury players. Even if it's like I don't know, I'm just saying Jack Wilshere. Just because I've seen him come up on a free. I will look at him and I will think, right, can we sign him? What's his wages? How does that compete with our other players? Can we sell him on for a profit? That's going to be very, very important. Looking at teams like Southampton, they've had a lot of success, profit-wise, selling so many players to Liverpool, buying them cheap, selling them for... Look at Van Dijk, the money they made from them. That's what we want to be. We want to have a rigorous transfer policy. Sort of like Tottenham and how Daniel Levy runs his club. Rather than clubs that just throw money at the wall, see what sticks and sort of hopes for the best in a lot of way. Sort of like in the last episode, how I describe Real Madrid in comparison to Barcelona. A lot of their buys, I feel, are just reactionary to what Barcelona do. It's a competition. Barcelona spends this much, then Real Madrid has to, and it does work vice versa. However, Barcelona normally buy that player that fits their system. Look at Coutinho. He fits in seamlessly. And I do have things like throughout the transfer window. I have notepads, I have a whiteboard, don't ask. And it just looks at the formations I want to play, where I want to put the players, and stuff like that. So, what are the positions we're going to be looking for in January? So this is the formation we're going to keep playing. I'm going to roll with this for the rest of the season, I feel. Well, the only changes when we play away is I'm going to put get stuck in. So I'm going to make a home tactic and an away tactic. I'm going to do set pieces because I keep saying it. I've been saying it forever. So I'm going to do them literally after this episode. So I feel we need a striker. While Firmino has been, fairly good, 7 goals and 20 appearances, 4 assists. He has been good. We are going to look for another striker. So we're going to look for a backup. So I'm going to set a transfer limit no more than 30 million. Okay, I don't really want to be spending more than 30 million on a player. We're going to try and keep him under 24. However, even 24-year-olds I shy away for now. So that's the first position. We're going to look for a starter on this right wing. As these youngsters, while they're doing well, I need them to do better. Again, 30 million for a starter. Sorry. Yeah, the only reason why we're getting 30 million for Firmino is because we know Firmino's probably going to get bought by Man City. They've got high interest. They're in the news. Vincent Van Company has said he wants him, so I think we're going to be under a lot of pressure, and honestly we'll probably sell for that lot of money. We're going to look for someone to sort of give Salah a rest, so we'll probably put around the 15 mil mark on that for a young player to sort of just help Salah out. Other than that, I'm fairly happy with the squad. We are going to look at moving on Danny Ings. Danny Ings, we are going to try and move him on. We're going to try and get rid of Mignolet again. Just having a quick look at my team. And Wijnaldum has been seeking interest. Now, if he gets bought, I will be buying a replacement at around the 15 million mark because it is someone that's going to spend a lot of time on the bench. So we're looking at that 15 million for sort of bench warmers, as we're going to call them, and the 30 million mark for starters. And that's what we're going to go with. So I think it's going to be a long stretch before we come back. So when we come back, I think we'll come back for the West Ham game away at the London Stadium. I feel that will be good. And hopefully we can see how the transfers have gone. I want to get them done early and quick. So fingers crossed we can get the sort of deals that we need to, and especially with Champions League coming up, hopefully we can get some people that are still free to play in that, which would be really, really nice. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this quick episode. Leave a thumbs up, leave a subscribe. I love you all, more than a friend. See you later. Bye-bye.